The bamboo slivers went under his fingernails first. 10 fingers, 10 slivers, one by one. Then the water. They held his head back, poured it down his throat until his stomach bulged. Then the electricity. This went on for 3 weeks. They wanted one answer. Who sent you? He never told them. On the 22nd day, they shot him. Not because they were merciful, because they ran out of ways to make him talk. Why would someone endure that? What could possibly be worth 3 weeks of torture and a guaranteed death? The answer? He believed in reincarnation. He believed that if you die for your country, you come back better. Wealthier family, higher status, good karma in your next life. His wife and daughters were already dead, murdered. He had nothing left in this life, so he made a deal with his next life. One murder now, one better existence later. That's the math that killed one of the most dangerous men in China. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to the beginning, to the 9 jars buried under a doorway, to a fortune teller reading the stars, to 3 men who drank each other's blood. Welcome to Shanghai 1940, the most insane criminal world you've never heard of. Shanghai in 1940 wasn't like other cities. It had 3 governments. The Chinese section, controlled by warlords, the international settlement, controlled by Western powers, the French concession, controlled by France, 3 different sets of laws, 3 different police forces, and in the gaps between them, complete chaos. If you killed someone in the Chinese section and ran 50 meters into the French concession, the Chinese police couldn't touch you. Different jurisdiction, this created a paradise for criminals, and 3 men understood that better than anyone. They called them the 3 tycoons, the 3 men who ran Shanghai's underworld. Huang Jinrong, the oldest, a police detective by day, a gang boss by night. He used his badge to protect criminals and his criminals to gather intelligence. Yueh-sheng, the smartest, started as a fruit vendor's assistant, rose to become the most charming, most connected man in Shanghai. Could negotiate with warlords, businessmen, and revolutionaries. And Zhang Xiaolin, the muscle, the enforcer, the one you sent when talking didn't work. In 1920, they made it official. They held a ceremony. Here's how it worked. They went to a temple, brought a statue of Guan Yu, the Chinese god of brotherhood and loyalty, lit incense, knelt down. Then they each cut their right palm with the same knife, let the blood drip into a bowl, added rice wine, stirred it, and drank it. All 3 of them, drinking each other's blood. That was the oath. Brothers for life. Protect each other. Never betray each other. The oath had 36 rules written down, but the most important was rule number 1. Betray a brother, and the gods will curse your family for 9 generations. In old Shanghai, that curse was real. People believed it, feared it. For 17 years, that oath held these 3 men together. They built an empire on it. Together, they controlled everything. The opium trade, thousands of kilos coming in from the countryside every month. They processed it, packaged it, sold it, made millions. The gambling houses, mahjong tables, dice games, roulette wheels. Every night, wealthy businessmen lost fortunes there. The brothels, hundreds of women working in houses the gang owned. The gang took a cut of every transaction. The protection rackets, every shop, every restaurant, every factory paid the gang for security. If you didn't pay, your business burned down. And Zhang Xiaolin made sure everyone paid. He was the violence behind the empire. When someone refused to cooperate, Zhang paid them a visit. Here's one example. In 1928, a textile factory owner refused to pay protection money, said he was tired of being extorted. Zhang showed up at the factory with 6 men. He didn't hurt the factory owner, not at first. Instead, he grabbed 3 random workers off the factory floor, men who had nothing to do with the owner's decision. Zhang broke each worker's right hand with a hammer, one at a time, made the factory owner watch. Then Zhang said, "Next week, if you don't pay, I'll come back and do the left hands. The week after, the legs." The factory owner paid. Everyone who heard that story paid. But Zhang wasn't just a monster. That's what makes this complicated. He had 5 wives, loved them in his way, gave them mansions, jewelry, everything they wanted. He funded orphanages. Every year donated thousands of yuan to feed and shelter abandoned children. He helped poor families from his old neighborhood pay for weddings and funerals. People feared him and loved him, sometimes at the same time. Yueh-sheng once said, "Zhang has a good heart buried under a violent man. That good heart would be buried literally very soon." By 1937, the three tycoons were untouchable. They had connections with everyone: politicians, warlords, foreign diplomats. They controlled more money than most governments. Zhang lived in a mansion on Avenue Joffre, right in the French concession. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, 30 servants, paintings worth fortunes, and 9 jars buried under his front door. A feng shui master had done it. Said the jars would protect Zhang from his enemies. The rumors said the jars contained human heads, cursed objects, protective charms. Zhang believed it, believed that ancient magic would keep him safe. He was wrong, but we'll get to that. Zhang had a bodyguard named Lin Huaibu. Lin had been with him since 1925. 15 years of loyalty, saved Zhang's life twice. Once, an assassin got into Zhang's house with a knife. Lin tackled him, took 3 stab wounds, nearly died protecting his boss. Zhang paid for the best doctors, visited Lin every day in the hospital. When Lin recovered, Zhang promoted him to head of personal security. After that, they were inseparable. Zhang trusted Lin more than his own brothers, more than his wives, more than anyone. That trust would kill him. 1937, Japan invaded China. This wasn't a small border conflict, this was total war. Japan wanted to conquer the entire country. Shanghai was one of their first targets. The fighting was apocalyptic. Bombs falling every day, buildings collapsing, fires everywhere. In the first few weeks, tens of thousands of people died. The foreign concessions stayed neutral, protected by foreign troops. Inside the concessions, it was relatively safe. Outside, hell on earth. The 3 tycoons watched their city burn. And they had to choose sides. Huang Jinrong chose to disappear, locked himself in his mansion, closed his businesses, waited for the war to end. Yuesheng chose China. He started using his money to support resistance fighters, smuggled weapons, helped evacuate refugees, moved his assets to Hong Kong, and used the money to fund anti-Japanese operations. People respected him for it. Even today, history remembers Du as a gangster who chose his country over his wealth. And Zhang? Zhang saw something different when he looked at the war. He saw opportunity. The Japanese controlled Shanghai now. They needed local people to help them run the city, people who knew the streets, the businesses, the criminal networks. They sent someone to meet with Zhang, a colonel, made him an offer. Work with us, help us maintain order. In return, you get an official position in the puppet government, protection for your businesses, money, power. Zhang asked for time to think. He met with Yuesheng, his blood brother, asked for advice. Du was clear, "Don't do it. We're Chinese. Our country is being invaded. We can't help them." Zhang nodded, said he understood, said he'd refuse the offer. He lied. 2 weeks later, Zhang accepted the Japanese offer. He became an official in the puppet government. His title was Advisor for Public Security. His real job? Use his gang connections to identify resistance fighters and patriots who opposed Japan. And that's when things got really dark. The Japanese gave Zhang lists of suspected resistance members. His job was to confirm their identities, track their movements, report back. Zhang did his job very well. Here's one case: a businessman named Chen to do, and Du made his choice. Zhang had to die. But Du couldn't just have him killed. It wasn't that simple. Zhang was protected by the Japanese. Any obvious hit would bring the full weight of the occupation down on Du. And there was the oath, the blood oath. 17 years of brotherhood. Du agonized over it for weeks. Finally, he made his decision, but he needed to do it right. First, he consulted a fortune teller. The old man lived in a small room above a tea shop. Du came alone. No bodyguards. I need to know the right day, Du said. The fortune teller didn't ask what for. He looked at Du's birth date, looked at the calendar, looked at the stars. After an hour of silence, he spoke. August 14th. That's a killing day. The stars align for revenge. If you're gonna take a life, that's when the gods will permit it. Du paid him. Left. He had his date, now he needed his weapon. Du couldn't use one of his own men. Too obvious. The Japanese would trace it back to him immediately. He needed someone close to Zhang, someone Zhang would never suspect. He needed Lin Huaibu, the loyal bodyguard, 15 years of service, the man Zhang trusted more than anyone. But why would Lin betray him? Here's what most people don't know about Lin. Lin had a family, a wife, 2 daughters, 8 and 6 years old. They lived in a house outside the French concession, in a neighborhood controlled by the Japanese. In March 1940, Japanese soldiers raided Lin's neighborhood, looking for resistance fighters, going door to door. Lin's wife wasn't involved in any resistance activity. She was just a mother taking care of her children. But one of the soldiers thought she looked suspicious. Or maybe he just didn't like how she looked at him. He dragged her outside, started questioning her aggressively. Lin's oldest daughter, 8 years old, tried to protect her mother, grabbed the soldier's arm. The soldier pulled out his pistol, shot the 8-year-old, then the 6-year-old, then Lin's wife. All 3 died in the street in front of their house. By the time Lin heard about it, he was at Zhang's mansion, on duty. His family was already buried. Lin wanted revenge. Wanted to kill Japanese soldiers, wanted to burn down their whole army. But what could one man do? Then, 2 months later, Yueh-sheng contacted him. The meeting happened at night, a warehouse by the docks, just the 2 of them. Du told Lin the truth. Zhang Xiaolin was working with the Japanese, giving them information, getting Chinese people killed. The intelligence that led to the raid in your neighborhood, Du said carefully. Zhang provided information about suspected resistance sympathizers in that area. Du didn't know if that was strictly true, but it could have been. Zhang's information had gotten a lot of people killed. Lin sat there in silence, processing. What do you want me to do? He finally asked. I want you to kill him, Du said. Lin didn't answer right away. If I do this, he said slowly, they'll know it was you. They'll come after you. Du shook his head. They'll suspect me, but without proof, they can't touch me. I have too many connections, too many people protecting me. What about me? Lin asked. Du was honest. You'll probably be caught, probably tortured. They'll want to know who sent you, and then they'll kill you. Lin thought about his wife, his daughters, the life they should have had. If I die for this, Lin said, what happens to me? After. Du understood the question. You believe in reincarnation? Lin nodded. Then you know, Du said. Die for your country, die for justice, and you come back better. Wealthier family, higher status, good karma. Lin was quiet for a long time. My family is gone, he said finally. I have nothing left in this life. But maybe in the next one. He looked at Du. When do you want it done? They spent 2 weeks planning. Lin would use his own weapon. The pistol Zhang had given him years ago. Ironic. The date was already set, August 14th, the killing day the fortune teller had identified. Timing, early morning during breakfast. Zhang would be relaxed, distracted by his newspaper. Lin would stand in his usual position by the door. Zhang would never suspect anything until the bullets hit. After, Lin would run. There'd be a car waiting 2 blocks away. If he made it to the car, Du's people would get him out of Shanghai. Big if, the night before, Lin wrote a letter. He didn't have anyone to write to, his family was dead, but he wrote anyway. The letter said, I am not a murderer. I am a father. The Japanese took my family. Zhang Xiaolin helped them. Tomorrow, I will take something from Zhang, and then we will be even. I do not expect forgiveness. I do not expect to survive. I expect justice, and I expect a better life next time. He sealed the letter, left it in his room, then he cleaned his gun, loaded it, checked the mechanism twice, and went to sleep. August 14th, 1940. Lin woke up at 6, got dressed, put the gun in his jacket pocket, walked to Zhang's mansion. He walked over the 9 jars buried under the front door, the ones with the human heads, the ones that were supposed to protect Zhang from assassins. They didn't even slow him down. Inside the mansion, Zhang was already awake, at his desk, reading the newspaper, drinking green tea. Same routine for 20 years. Lin took his position by the door, same spot, same as always. Zhang glanced up, nodded at Lin, went back to reading. 7:30. Servants brought breakfast. Eggs, congee, steamed buns. Zhang folded his newspaper, started eating. Lin's hand moved to his pocket. His fingers closed around the gun. He thought about his wife, the way she smiled. He thought about his daughters, their laughter. He thought about the soldier who killed them, the Japanese occupation, Zhang's betrayal. He thought about his next life, the better one he'd been promised. He pulled out the gun. Zhang heard the movement, started to turn. Lin fired. The first bullet hit Zhang in the chest. The impact threw him backward. The second bullet hit his shoulder. Zhang fell. His chair toppled. He crashed to the floor. Blood everywhere. On the table, on the newspaper, on the marble floor. Zhang a gangster who chose his country over his wealth. Huang Jinrong, the third tycoon, survived the war by hiding, but when the communists took power in 1949, They didn't forget what he'd done. They forced him to confess his crimes publicly, made him stand in front of crowds and admit to murder, extortion, drug trafficking. Then they made him sweep streets every day. For years, the man who once ruled Shanghai, pushing a broom through gutters, he died in 1953, heart attack, while sweeping. And Zhang Xiaolin, the man who broke the oath. They buried him face down. That's the rule in Chinese gang culture. Traitors get buried face down. It means you can't see heaven, can't be reborn. Your soul stays trapped in the dirt forever. No coffin, no ceremony, no mourning. Just a hole in the ground and eternal damnation. The richest man in Shanghai ended up with 3 feet of dirt and a curse that would last forever. 3 brothers, 3 choices. Huang chose to hide, survived the war, died in shame. Du chose his country, lost everything, kept his honor. Zhang chose survival, got power and money, lost his soul. The oath they swore in 1920 lasted 17 years. The bullet that ended it took 3 seconds. But the curse? According to Chinese belief, that curse lasts 9 generations. Zhang's descendants, if he has any, are still paying for what he did. Some people say Lin Huaibu was a hero, some say he was a murderer. Maybe he was both. In war, the lines blur. Good people do terrible things, terrible people do good things, and brothers kill brothers. The 9 jars buried under Zhang's door didn't protect him. The fortune teller's killing day came true. Lin's belief in reincarnation gave him the courage to die. And Zhang's face-down burial ensured he'd never escape. In 1940, Shanghai, even murder followed rules. Rules written by the stars, by the gods, by blood oaths sworn 17 years earlier. This wasn't just a crime, this was cosmic justice delivered by a man who'd made a deal with his next life. Next time, the detective who ruled Shanghai's underworld. A cop by day, a gang boss by night, and the kidnapping that exposed his double life. But that's another story.